bronche. That's how we say brunch.
Here's to the ladies who say basic with their lunch. Be a queen.
Be a boss.
Ladies who brunch are popping off.
Hey, we pop and pop it off. We pop.
All right. The episode's about to start.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Ladies Who Bronche. I am Julissa.
What's good, everybody? This is Skittles.
And this week, I am super fucking thrilled to have the BX Queen in the building. A woman who I think when you think about a boss and you see her, you're like, yes, there she is. That is a boss in full embodiment. Carmen, who the fuck are you?
Hi, guys. How are you? BX Queen in the house. I just want to thank Ladies at Brunch for this beer and this interview.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me this fine day. But I am retired from Montefiore as a supervisor for internal medicine, and I currently help out as the manager of operations for Bronx Native.
Ooh, so tell me a little bit. BX Queen, where did that name come from?
I always identify myself as a queen. 718 is the old school number for all of New York mainly, but I feel like the Bronx utilized it the most.
Yes.
And then BX is, who raised me. I was born in Dade, but, the BX raised me, so I have to put that there.
What is one of your favorite things about growing up in the Bronx?
So I did not grow up in the Bronx. I came here when I was 18 years old. And I think my favorite thing was to move and come into this big city with opportunities. And basically the borough chose me, I didn't choose the borough. So the Bronx has my heart.
Absolutely. So I'd love to hear a little bit about sort of your journey outside of Montefiore, and just like, I feel like outside of assisting with operations in Bronx Native, there's just a way in which you are such a good networker, but you're also such a good caregiver. Like every time I'm in a space with you, you are holding shit down and running things. And I imagine that working at Montefiore taught you a lot of this management, but I feel like there's something about you and your story where that came a little bit naturally and it wasn't just about your work experience.
I would have to say, Julissa, that you are absolutely correct. You nailed that one on the nose. I come from a very large family. I'm the oldest of 9 younger and the middle of 4 older. So the 4 older already were out the house. So basically I was the oldest and having to take care of 9 kids. So organization was necessary in that magnitude of a family size.
Wow. I'm interested to know what your history with hair and makeup is, because every time I see you, your hair is different, your makeup is deep. Like, were you a makeup artist? Are you a makeup artist?
No, I was such a tomboy. You don't even understand how much of a tomboy I am.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually moving to New York City. I went to, Times Square, young girl, like in a big city, and it's just like, wow. Look at this Sephora. I thought Sephora at the time was Louis Vuitton of makeup, so you couldn't even tell me anything. And I was like, well, I know the slightest thing to do, but I thought that the jars were beautiful, Dior and all that. And I was like, I want to try this out, but I just have the slightest idea. And I had the best worker at Sephora. I wish I would remember his name so many years ago, but he came in and was like, girl, them cheekbones and those spaces and your eyelids is everything. Let's get it. So he taught me in that 15-minute interim of doing my makeup at Sephora how to do makeup.
Wow. That's crazy. I have been taught and still continuously fail to be my makeup properly. That's impressive. Yeah, and your fashion, I think to Skittles' point though, like your fashion too, like you're just always so what like you always honestly like a celebrity, like you walk into spaces and the way you occupying the energy that you bring, it's like such celebrity energy in a good way, in a way that it's kind of like you draw attention and you command spaces in so many good ways. That's why I'm always like, yeah, that's a boss. Yeah, that's the embodiment of a fucking leader.
Yeah, I think that the stature of celebrity that you're speaking about is, I had to walk into rooms at Montefiore because I was the boss, right? I had to walk in, and you have to show a certain sternness for people to, respect. A lot of these people that I had to oversee were old enough to be my mom or my grandmother or my aunt. And I never wanted to be, always follow my upbringing and being respectful to my elders. But at the same time, I was their boss. So it's like, okay, well, let's walk into this room and just show standard, because that first 5 seconds of attention are the rest of the views of how somebody is gonna see you. And I don't want to walk in to any room from that moment and think like, damn, should I have walked in differently? Or should I do this? I just picked one way, and that's just walking with my head up high, my shoulders laid back, and dressing up is, the old school Spanish way. Like, before you go to the doctor, te tiene que limpiar el fundillo and put on your fucking socks and make sure they're clean and let me verify you ain't got no doo-doo stains, and then you go to the doctor. So, this is what it is. This is, Latina. Welcome to me life.
Yes. And what actually, what ethnicity are you? I actually don't know.
There's where the 2 bottle of wines need to come in, because it gets a little complicated. So, biologically, my mother's descendant of Germany, and my father is Afro-Cuban. So I was put up for adoption when I was 6, and with my brother and my sister, and we were adopted by a Puerto Rican family. So all of my roots and my Latin, it comes from the Puerto Rican, Christmases and the pasteles and all that comes wrapped up for a Puerto Rican family. But in 2007, my Cuban family found me on MySpace. And as you can see, we were on vacation. I don't know if you guys got to meet them, but I don't think so. But yeah, we've been inseparable since 2007 since, and where they found my mom and my dad as well. And my parents actually got back together. It was disgusting, but get cute.
Wow, what a story. I didn't know that about you, but that actually makes sense because of the level of tenacity you display. Like you actually like you carry a warrior's heart. I think that's what it is. I use the word celebrity, but it's more like when warriors walk in the room or like start to, you're like, oh, okay. Like something lets you know that person carries something with them. And I think there's like this like secret invisible sword that you walk around with that is like gentle and kind, right? But also like will cut if need be.
They're my titties. I carry my balls on my chest, girl.
So we know, the world is going through some crazy times, and there's been a lot going on with, yes, the pandemic. Now we have an election going on, and here you are at the center of it all, helping run a business, essentially. How are things going? How has this pandemic been treating you? And what things are you excited for in this upcoming year?
So it has been definitely a roller coaster. It has been emotional and great all at the same time. And I say that with, upside and a heavy heart and a happy heart all at the same time, because there's just so much emotions that went on during that time of quarantine. The business was struggling for a minute. We didn't know where it would go. And, you know, the aspect is that we have a duty for the Bronx, right? We have a duty to keep this store open, and how can we do that? And really went back and forth on that table, trying to figure out what we can do to keep it afloat. Amaudis came up with the idea of emptying out the whole shop and putting it inside of a friend's basement, and where they can do fulfillments online, since we had to be social distancing. And he just kept posting like his regular day. You know, he was doing some of the lives and talks, and then it dawned on him like, we were not going to make it out of here. It's just not enough. Everyone is scared. How can we really come up with the big plan if we don't get these loans? Because not much money was coming to anybody in the fucking Bronx. You know, it was, you know, just scarce at that time. So I said, I think that you're gonna have to put that pride aside, and you're gonna have to start this GoFundMe if we're gonna save this shop. And he was very skeptical about it, but he was like, you know what? But what if I do it? And you know, he's the creative there, and just have something for people who are in their houses to watch, right? To see, just instead of just asking for a GoFundMe, you know. So he ended up making wanted to make a small video, and that video, you know, I kind of directed a little bit. I was like, instead of you just standing here, why don't you go on the roof and walk up the stairs and hold the sign on the roof, and I'll record you, and then you just do your edits and stuff. And he was like, okay. And then the freaking bodega cat, I couldn't even imagine, like, he did his whole cameo on his own and showed up, and it was just like, I just saw it as a sign, like, we're gonna be okay. We're gonna, you know, the Bronx always rises, and we're gonna be okay. And we were blessed, and it's been nonstop ever since, and more energy than ever to just keep thriving. And the people, they're always there. We've seen so many more people coming into the shop, and just happy that it's still there.
Yes, and we're happy. I mean, I'll speak for myself. I'm happy to see that you guys were able to survive that, because I think it's really hard to watch people work so hard and then have something completely out of their control be the thing that like tosses everything up in the air. And like, I had such random things like, I'm no longer working at the company I was working at before, but then it almost feels like there was a weird period where you're like, you know, when you're free falling and you're like, uh-oh, we really don't know how we're gonna land, and that's fear. There was that. And now I feel like I'm at the period where we're like still falling, but seeing a landing somewhere close. And so it's like, all right, at least I know what I'm falling into, even though I'm still falling. And so I think for a lot of businesses, you know, we're in that period, but for you guys, I'm really happy to see that there is a target at the bottom for you guys that you will hit. Continue to hit and rise up for. So congrats for that.
Oh, thank you. I think that the most that I want to see happen from now is just a bigger space, just to do what we do, and in a bigger platform, you know?
It'll definitely happen with the way you guys are hustling, for sure. So Carmen, we're gonna get into our brunch questions. And the first question is, when you go out to brunch with your girls, what is your go-to brunch bebida?
It is a glass of Riesling.
Ooh. Even at brunch? Yeah?
It's a whole bottle, but don't tell anybody.
Yes. And so what's your go-to brunch plate when you're with your Riesling?
Like plate or place?
Plate. Like go-to order.
So it just depends on the restaurant. And I, as you guys can see, I go to many restaurants. I have a problem, but I cannot choose a plate. There's a specific plate for a specific place. If it's Maisoneta, it's their cheese and fruit plate that goes great with wine. I usually pair anything with the wine. So each place has something that pairs good with the wine.
Okay.
That's such a, I was going to say innovative, but to me, innovative is the brunch, because usually it's like people show up to brunch and it's like, all right, whatever they give, that's unlimited. That's it. That's my choice. And people don't necessarily think about, no, I have a very specific experience I want to have. And that's what I came to do rather than
I don't want hangovers. That's why. I got too much. I got to help run a business. You know, I can't be waking up tired.
That is a fact. So Carmen, tell us a little bit about what it was like when you would go out to eat growing up, whatever age period resonates the most with you. Like, what was that experience like?
Girl, it would be Sunday after church when we were allowed to get McDonald's.
Yes. Amen.
That's it. That's it. Like, wait, we getting the nuggets today? I'm
yes.
You know, it would have to be that. Like, after church, Sunday eating is always what resonates the most. And I carried that on all the way down to my kids. Like, today's Sunday, I'm gonna, you know, cook Sunday dinner.
Yes. What are you cooking today? It's rainy out.
Today is going to be Southern food. I'm going to make smothered pork chops with some baked mac and cheese, some collard greens, some
so we're coming
stuffing,
over,
some candy yams. I mean, you guys can come over. Let's go.
La dieta just went from my head out.
Yo, she said that mac and cheese. It's mac and cheese season. It's officially after Halloween.
Listen, it's mac and cheese season, and mine is creamy with 7 different cheeses.
Girl, don't play games. Do not tell me what a good mac and cheese. I love it. So tell us, what is your favorite bochinche topic to talk about when you're out to brunch?
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So I usually gossip a lot about celebrity current events. I really love to see the trifling stuff because it just makes me feel like they're just as human as we are. And they don't matter how many zeros, you're still gonna fart and take a shit, you know? But I would say that the most topic with my girls, you know, the bochinche about the men, you know, men bochinche, talking about how good they are or how they ain't shit.
Because it's either or. Always.
Yep.
Never in between.
There's never in between.
Never. It's like, that nigga ain't shit this week, but tomorrow maybe is a better day.
Right. I love it. I feel like, honestly, bochinche, like, talking about men and boys, like, I've always loved it, and it still remains. Like, even though I know there's important things, and there's like, I like talking politics and all that shit, but really, you want to talk to me, you want to get me yapping, let's start talking about how niggas ain't shit. And
that's on politics is on Wednesday evening dinner. That's not brunch.
Love that.
It's on Wednesday, girl.
That's a fact.